So, I've been listening a lot recently to Bob Dylan's new album, which, in case you haven't got, it's really good. It's called Rough and Rowdy Ways. I like Bob Dylan anyway, but I liked it. And the big single on it, well, it's hard to call it a single, it's an 18-minute song, is called Murder Most Foul. And that describes or sings about the assassination of JFK. And on a whim, I kind of looked up when that was, because in the lyrics it says it was a dark day in November, and it turns out that was yesterday, November the 22nd, 1963, in Dallas. JFK was assassinated, and that inspired me to come up with a cocktail. But I wanted to do one that also kind of was right for the season. We're coming up for Thanksgiving. He was murdered 6 days before Thanksgiving. We've got Thanksgiving in a couple of days' time, and so I came up with this. I tried to find something on the interwebs, but nothing quite did it for me. And so I invented this one, and it is called a Jack's Fall. And that's fall, F-A-L-L, not fool, which is kind of what it sounds like with my accent. I get that. It's also a play on words, because I wanted to make an autumnal cocktail that also used applejack. And so it's applejack, Jack's Fall. It all seems to go together. But anyway, this is what I came up with, and I'll show you how I did it. I'm using Laird's Applejack, the sort of kind of oldest spirit in America. I do not have the in bond bottle, which is 100% apple brandy, and that's really the one to get. But this one works quite well, and it's quite affordable as well. Well, at least it is in America. I'm not sure about elsewhere. And I am going to put 1.5 ounces of Laird's Applejack into this, like so. And this is America, so yes, of course, I'm going to put bourbon. Well, not bourbon, I'm going to put rye whiskey in. I like the spiciness of it. Spicy seems to be the thing for fall, really. Of course, JFK himself, it turns out, was not particularly a whiskey drinker. He loved cocktails, and apparently his favourite was a daiquiri. But I've made a daiquiri before, so that's why I had to come up with this, obviously. I'm going to put 1 ounce of rye whiskey in there. But I've mentioned a couple of times that I want those sort of autumnal spices, the ones that people tend to call pumpkin spice or pumpkin spice. Well, there's the spices that go with pumpkin, I suppose. And actually, I found that I was going to use ginger liqueur, but I think that velvet falernum, which has that kind of clovey autumnal taste to it, it's used in tiki drinks as well. I feel that will add just the right notes to this drink. But I don't want to overpower it with that, so I'm going to put in a healthy 1/4 ounce of that. And then, well, more autumnal stuff, I suppose, more solid American, or at least North American, Canada as well. I'm going to put in some maple syrup as the sweetener. This is a bit like an old-fashioned in many ways. I'm going to put 1/4 ounce of maple syrup. It's potent stuff. I don't want to make it too sweet, but obviously go with your own tastes. If you like a sweeter cocktail, put a bit more syrup in. It's luckily not rocket science. Go with your tastes. And then instead of just any old bitters, my usual Angostura bitters or orange bitters would be good, but someone had given me some cardamom bitters, and that is just, it turns out, the right complement for these drinks. I'm going to put a couple of quite healthy dashes in there, and then I'm going to stir it, make it nice and cold. Well, it doesn't need to be super cold, because we're going to pour it into a rocks glass that's already got ice in it. But we want to make sure everything is well mixed in. Actually, I'm listening to Murder Most Foul in the background. It's a great song, and I do need to go and see Bob Dylan again, I think. Although, apparently I did heckle Bob Dylan. I saw him a couple of years ago on a road trip down to California, and I was up there in the top of the Shriners, I don't know what it's called, this concert hall, amphitheatre, whatever, and I had a drink with ice in the bottom, and I was slurping at the guy next to me. He was not pleased, and he told me in a very polite way to just shut the hell up. I did, honestly. Anyway, we are going to just pour this into our rocks glass, like so. And it just takes a couple of garnishes here. One of them is going to be a cinnamon stick, mostly because it looks kind of cool, but it also adds that lovely smell and a little bit of taste to it as well. And also, I'm going to put a nice healthy twist of orange in as well. The orange really complements the alcohols that we've got in here. So twist it so the orange oil goes into the glass. Put that in like so, and here we go. Now that is fall in a glass. Cheers.